Good afternoon to our cherished listeners and viewers. This is Cloud9 Sports Show on Fade Cloud Radio. I'm your host, as always, Francis Arsenal. And with me today is, on my left is Derek the Sobojo. Derek the Sobojo. Charlie, Derek, what's up?
Charlie, I do.
Everything nice.
Everything good.
Okay. On my right is Nana Ike, aka the Otumba General. Otumba.
You dey feel the name,
I dey feel the name.
Yeah. Now I register one at you.
Oh, okay. That one be which one?
Boy, no.
AKA
Boy, no.
Otumba. AKA Boy, no.
Like next month I'll register another one.
So today get tips.
Oh yeah, Tuesday.
Okay. So in the next 45 minutes, it's all sports around the world. Also, don't forget to watch till the end of the program because today there will be tips. The bets guys will make you chop some money. So in the course of the program, Otumba will give us some betting tips for us to enjoy our weekend. So without wasting much time, let's enter into the news and then roll. Okay, so Derek, let's go.
I want to say hi to all the listeners of today's show. I'm here to bring them football news from all over the world. So I'll start today's show with the UEFA Nations League. It has been going on for some time now. I'll start with League A Group 2. Belgium played against Iceland and then they won 5-1. Belgium won 5-1. Batshuayi scored a brace. Mertens scored, Axel Witsel, and then Jeremy Doku. Now, this Jeremy Doku guy is an 18-year-old. He plays for Anderlecht. He made his debut 3 days ago and he has scored his first goal for the country. He's a very big talent. Most clubs are after him. I heard Liverpool almost signed him some time ago. He could have played for Ghana, but he chose to play for Belgium instead. He's also called the Belgian Sadio Mane. So it should tell you the way he plays. He plays like Liverpool's Sadio Mane. Now, in the same group, Denmark played against England and then it was goalless. Now, Denmark faced just one shot on target. Can you imagine the whole England played a match and played one shot on target? They had Sterling, Kane, and then Sancho up front, and they still played one shot on target. Jack Grealish came on for his debut, and then he impressed. So I'm sure Gareth Southgate will be looking at that. Now, Danny Ings had a season of his life. He scored 22 goals. He scored almost 25 goals without penalties. But in the Nations League, he only played 22 minutes.
In all competitions?
Yes.
Okay.
But in the Nations League, he played only 22 minutes. That should tell you that even though Kane has been terrible, the coach is not giving other players the chance to take players' positions. Now, 4 players made their English debut on the day. Calvin Phillips, he plays for Leeds United, so we'll be seeing him in the EPL this season. We have Conor Cody, he plays for Wolves. Jack Grealish, and then Maitland-Niles. So those 4 players made their debut. Now, League A Group 3, France played against Croatia, and then France won 4-2. Griezmann scored a goal and assisted. Upamecano scored a goal. Giroud came on, scored a penalty. Antonio Martial had an assist. Now, for the Croatian goals, Lovren scored, Brekalo scored, and then Kovacic had an assist. Now, Giroud has scored 40 goals for France, and that's 10 on the list because there's Michel Platini who has scored 41, and then Thierry Henry, who is the highest goal scorer for the French national team. He has scored 51 goals. So Giroud is 1 goal away from going to the top, going to second place. Now, Eduardo Camavinga, I don't know, there's a lot of talk about the player. He's 17 years old. He made his debut in the Nations League. Also, Antoine Griezmann has scored 31 goals. So he's now he's fifth on the list alongside Zinedine Zidane. So that's a good company to be in. Now, in the same Group A, League A Group B, Sweden played against Portugal, and we all saw what happened. Cristiano Ronaldo happened. He scored twice. One was a free kick, and then the other was a long range shot. Now he has scored 101 goals for the club, for the country, 101 goals. The only player who has scored more than 100 is Ali Day of, I don't know, I think it's Iran also. Yeah. So he's 8 goals away from matching the record for the most international goals. Now, if you look at his stats for the Portuguese team, he has played 165 matches. He has scored 101 goals and has given 40 assists. That's impressive. Now, if you look at Ronaldo's career, you see that since he joined Juventus, he has played 99 matches. He has scored 79 goals and he has had 13 assists, 5 hat-tricks, and he has won 4 trophies. That's very good. Now, since he's turned 30 years, he has played 49 matches for Portugal and he has scored 49 goals in 47 matches. That's more than 1 goal a game. Now, if you go to League A Group 1, Netherlands played against Italy and then Italy won by a single goal. The goal was scored by Nicolo Barella and the assist was by Ciro Immobile. Now, Poland were in the same group and they played against Bosnia and they won away from home. Poland beat Bosnia 2-1. Now, I'll be moving on to the Premier League awards. The award people were saying it should have been given to Jordan Henderson, but they've decided to give it to Kevin De Bruyne because he was the best player in the league. He has won the PFA Player of the Year, and then the female version of the award was given to Chelsea's Bethany England. Now, De Bruyne has won several trophies, individual trophies this season. He has won the Soccer Player of the Year, Premier League Player of the Year, and then PFA Men's Player of the Year. So that is very good for the player. Now, Trent Alexander-Arnold won the PFA Young Player of the Year. Now, the last Liverpool player to win the award was Steven Gerrard in 2001. Also, Marcus Rashford won the PFA Merit Award. That was for his fight against child poverty. Now, the Team of the Year has come out, and I'm going to mention the players that were on the team. The goalkeeper was Nick Pope. At defense, we had Trent Alexander-Arnold, Virgil van Dijk, Kagla Soyuncu, and then Andy Robertson. In midfield, we had Jordan Henderson, Kevin De Bruyne, and then David Silva. In attack, there was Emerick Aubameyang, Sadio Mane, and Jamie Vardy. So that was the Team of the Year. Now, going on to some signings that have been made so far. The AC Milan have confirmed that they signed the Italy midfielder, 20-year-old Sandro Tonali. The player was expected to join Inter Milan because he had agreed a deal, personal terms with the club. Now he's said to be the next fellow. So people thought Juventus would have moved for the player, but AC Milan have secured the player. It's being reported that Man United tried to bid for the player, but the player chose to stay in Italy. So that's news coming out from Italy. Also from Italy, Roma have confirmed that Nicolo Zaniolo has torn his Achilles in his left knee. Now, if you remember in January 2020, he tore the same Achilles in his right knee. So it's like he's torn in both legs. Now he'll be out till next February and he's expected to undergo surgery soon. Inter Milan director Osilio has declared Lautaro Martinez out of the market. So it means there's no chance he's going to Barca. So Barca might end up signing Pepe. Now we are going to move to the EPL. Sheffield United have sealed a deal for Ethan Ampadu of Chelsea. It's going to be a season-long loan move. They've also signed Jaden Bogle and Max Lowe from Derby on the long-term contracts. Man City have announced that their fullback Angelino will go on another loan at RB Leipzig. The player was there last season and he will continue to be there for another year. Now, interesting news from Real Madrid indicates that they are willing to pay half of Gareth Bale's wages so that he plays for another club. They want to get rid of the player. The player has a contract till 2020, but Madrid want to get him out of their books.
So he has a contract
till 2022. So Madrid wants to get rid of the player. However, the player is prepared. He wants to stay because he wants to play golf. He doesn't want to play football, he wants to play golf. So the club wants to sell the player, then they'll pay 50% of his earnings. Yes, so they'll be paying 50% of his wages so that he play for another club. Now, going on to Manchester United, they will be playing a friendly. So there's this one season friendly that they want to play against Aston Villa at Villa Park. That will be the only pre-season friendly they will be playing. The club has confirmed that Luke Shaw will be available for the start of the season. Also, this could mean that their move for Sergio Reguilon is being stalled because Real Madrid wants to insert a buyback clause. But the club has said that left back is not a priority, just that they want to strengthen because Shaw keeps getting injured. Now, I don't want to talk about the Sancho deal because we'll talk about it later. Smollett is pushing for an exit. The player wants to leave because he doesn't see himself getting game time. Also, Fulham wants Pereira, Andres Pereira. We call him the pre-season Perry. So, Fulham wants the player, but they can't pay what United wants. Also, Valencia wants Joao Mata, and then Romero is in talks with Aston Villa. Now, one thing you notice about United trying to sell players is that the amounts they give to the players on, as in wages, it's very high. So it makes other clubs find it difficult to buy players from the club. Also, Cagliari president has had a meeting with the Inter board about Raja Nainggolan. If you remember, the player was on loan there last season. They wanted to have him for another season, but Inter will be counting on the player. So there's no chance the player will be loaned out to Galatasaray, like reports have been saying. Now going on to Chelsea, Kai Havertz has taken the number 29 jersey, which was what he was wearing at Bayern Leverkusen. Also, Christian Pulisic will be wearing the number 10 jersey because Willian has left. Tomori is being expected to complete a loan deal to Everton, but we don't know how that will end up. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. Ziyech and Chilwell are ruled out for the opener in the EPL. They might not play, but Christian Pulisic might end up playing because he has recovered. Magically, he has recovered because he wants to play. And yes, I have on the bench. Now, Rene President, I don't know, you remember Chelsea want to sign their goalkeeper to replace Kepa, according to reports. Their president has spoken out. He says Chelsea is in talks. They are talking with Chelsea, and then if agreements get up, like if they make or if they have the agreement, then the player will move. Also going on to Arsenal, the board is convinced about Hussein Oe. I don't know that guy's name. He plays for he plays for
Sam Aroa.
Yeah, he plays for
Lyon.
He plays for Lyon. Yeah, he was very good. I watched him against Juventus. He was very good, impressive. I thought the player wanted to go to.
In France, they pronounce it Aoua.
Aoua.
Sam.
So I'm correct. Aoua.
Yeah. That's in French.
Papi could do track.
Is it
Aoua.
Is it what?
Papi could do track.
Aoua.
Okay, that is French. So
yeah. So and the player wants to move to the Premier League. I was hearing that City almost signed the player. City wanted the player, but they didn't make a move for the player. So Arsenal are interested. Now Arsenal wanted to offer Guendouzi as a swap deal, but Lyon don't want to accept a swap deal. They want 60 million for the player, or you find someone else. Rob Holding was supposed to go on loan at Newcastle, but earlier this week we heard reports that David Luiz got a neck injury. I don't know how serious that is. Someone having a neck injury, so it looks like the player will be in contention to start this weekend because Luiz is injured, so they will need reinforcement. Now Barcelona have made a bid for Man City's defender Eric Garcia. City wants, or they value the player as 40 million, so they don't want they don't want Barca to cheat them. So it's 40 million for the player, but the player's contract ends next summer. So if they don't sell, the player will go on a free. Inter have confirmed that they signed Alexander Kolarov from Roma. If you know him, he was formerly of Man City. Antonio Conte has gotten 2 new wing backs after signing Ashley Young. The player he's still signing wing backs. So they've also announced that Achraf Hakimi has arrived at the club pending official presentation. So moving on to Bayern Leverkusen, they've used Chelsea's money to sign striker Patrick Schick, 26.5 million until June 2025. Oli Watkins, he was a player at Brentford. He has joined Aston Villa. He has joined Aston Villa in a 28 million deal. He signed a 5-year contract. He was a top scorer last season, so you should watch out for him. Former Chelsea and Real Madrid midfielder Michael Essien has joined the coaching staff at Danish club Nordsjælland. He will train with the players, but then he's expected to take a coaching role. Everton have confirmed they've signed Abdoulaye Doucouré. Now I was talking about Carlo Ancelotti's midfield last time on the show. Yeah, he had Alan for 21, James for 22, and then Doucouré for 25. That's about 68 million for 3 fantastic players.
Okay. I think your time is now.
I will.
Zed what?
You don't do the interviews.
Okay, so we head into the Premier League fixtures. You know, there will be Premier League fixtures at the end of the week.
Yeah.
Premier League is returning and then.
Okay. So the Premier League is returning and then there will be matches on Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday. Early kickoff will be Fulham versus Arsenal. Then Burnley Manchester United has been postponed. Crystal Palace will play Southampton. City and Villa also has been postponed. Liverpool play Leeds at 4:30 p.m. And then West Ham Newcastle will take place at 7 p.m. On Sunday there will be West Brom versus Leicester. That's at 1 p.m. Tottenham versus Everton at 3:30 p.m. Now on Monday, Sheffield will play Wolves at 5 p.m. and then Brighton will face Chelsea at 7:15 p.m.
Also, the La Liga will be starting this weekend. Do you have the fixtures for the La Liga?
Yeah, I have fixtures for La Liga.
Okay.
Okay, so La Liga will take place on Saturday and then Sunday. They will not be playing on Monday. On Saturday, the first match will be at 2 p.m. That's Eibar versus Celta Vigo. At 4:30, Granada will take on Athletic Bilbao. And then at 7 p.m., Cadiz, newly promoted, they will take on Osasuna. Now, on Sunday at 12 p.m., Deportivo Alaves will take on Real Betis. At 2 p.m., Valladolid will take on Real Sociedad. Barca's match against Elche has been postponed. Same way Real Madrid and Getafe has been postponed. Now Villarreal will take on Huesca at 4:30 and then Valencia will take on Levante at 7 p.m.
So if you just tune in, this is Cloud9 Sports Show on Faith Lab Radio. You can watch us live on Facebook. Search for Faith Lab Radio and follow us. Also, you can listen to us on www.faithlabradio.org. Okay, so we just heard from Derek Desobojo. Now we can enter into the news and then Sebi. So without wasting much time, Charlie. So 5 minutes each from the news Derek read. Anything you would like to say?
Okay. So apart from the news,
where would you like to touch?
Apart from the news, have you had
anywhere
news?
around the world?
About any news to
anything sports related?
West Brom are in talks with former Chelsea defender Branislav Ivanovic. Ivanovic, sorry.
Ivanovic.
He left Chelsea, which I forget the news soon. Like the one sign up.
West Brom.
Yeah.
I mean now it is in it.
Yeah.
It is in it since Twitter.
And also I have one news. Mourinho was asked about if Tottenham would sign Messi. And this is what Mourinho said. He can only go to a team that doesn't respect financial fair play. So it's not Tottenham.
So
that's what
this
Mourinho
is
said.
A low jab to Man City.
Please, mention.
This is a low jab to Man City.
Allow the old man to talk about what he's saying.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think the last news I have for now is Serena Williams.
Yeah. Serena Williams
was forced to dig deep to secure a 4-6, 6-3, and 6-2 US Open quarterfinal victory over unseeded Bulgarian. I beg this name there, they can't mention that. How you go here and be I think
they search for fishing now.
They name me. You know who? I'll go mention one name. Pironkova. Keeping alive her latest bid for a record time 24th Grand Slam single title, meaning she is on course to win.
He's chasing that record. Yes.
That is the news I have for now.
Okay. So where would you like to touch? Anywhere, like Derek, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Where would you like to touch?
So, when I was coming, I wanted to talk about Everton, but I've changed my mind. Everton is not my team. they should leave me alone.
Should you always talk about your team?
Oh yeah, I have to talk about my team. So yesterday, reports came about Jadon Sancho. Yeah. So there's been reports from Fabrizio Romano that personal terms are no longer a problem. It looks like the player and the club, or the player and Man United, are sorted out. They've cleared doubts about agent fees and wages. So it looks like all we have to do is agree a fee with Dortmund. Also, I still have to talk about Everton. Now, I think if it was an English manager at Everton, the press would have been speaking more about it, because what Ancelotti is doing, I think they need defenders here. But then, if you watch Everton, they used to play Fabian Delph at midfield. That was he's not a bad player, but then if you want to compete, Fabian Delph at midfield is not good enough. So I think buying Alan, buying Doucouré, and then James Rodriguez. Charlie, James, they are my fantasy. I buy him. I know we sell him again. Because if you know play better, set pieces in delivery be bad. So Charlie, so for me, I've bought him on my fantasy. I think Ancelotti is doing well. And if you look at his pedigree, I was having this argument with somebody. The person was saying, if you compare how Poch met Tottenham to how Everton Ancelotti has met Everton, I was saying that when Poch came to Tottenham, even though the club had played in the Champions League for a while, but then they didn't have that manager to take them to the next level. I think with Ancelotti at Everton, even though Everton have not been very competitive, with a coach with a manager like Ancelotti, I think in a few years, even if it's not right now, like in a few years, 2 or 3 years, we could see Everton competing. Also, Eto'o came out with he had an interview where he said Messi is his son, and then he's happy Messi is staying, but then he thinks Barca are not buying the right players for the club. I think he's right, because Barca are not buying. Everybody knows that Suarez was supposed to leave, but immediately Messi said he's not leaving. Suarez was uncle Waka also Uncle Bill. He has agreed personal terms with Juve, but he says he's not leaving because he wants to stay at the club. So I think with that, Koeman has work to do, because assuming he wants to play Messi and wants to bench Suarez, would that happen? Would Messi agree for you to bench his best friend?
The only thing Messi can do is he can influence.
You see, Messi has influence. People don't say it, but at Barca, Messi has influence. See, Messi threatened to leave, and Barca almost fell apart. If Messi leaves, it's not like if he leaves, they will build it up. But if Messi is there, he has a voice. If Messi says something, they will take it into consideration.
But the only thing Messi can influence is them not selling Suarez.
Exactly. But playing Suarez. But listen, if they don't sell Suarez, they will buy a player who can bench Suarez. If you don't sell Suarez, can they afford Lautaro Martinez? They can't.
He's not even for sale, but
he's not for sale.
They can afford him.
They can. Oh yeah, okay. You see, as if Barca can afford, but Man, you can afford something.
The money for Lautaro is not up to.
If you want to buy Lautaro, they are quoting more than 100, just like Sancho.
Barca, in the record books, we all know they sign one to even look at the continuum, they almost 140.
But I think if, for instance, if the coach doesn't want to, you see, he wants to sign Depay, and we know Depay can play that number 9 role. So, for instance, if he signs Depay, then he has an opportunity to bench Suarez. But as at now, I think if Suarez stays there with his class, Suarez, even though he's old, but if you give Suarez opportunity, he will score goals. So I think if Suarez stays there, then he will play.
Okay, so what about Depay? They've held talks.
Yeah,
they've agreed terms with Depay.
You see, Depay going to Barcelona. Every player that he wants, that hears that Barca wants him, every player will be excited at joining Barca. So Depay won't be somebody who say he doesn't want the Barca move. Because when we were signing him from PSV, that's the same thing. He was excited, wanted to come and play everything. But later on, after we sold him, he was saying he's at fault because when he came, he didn't take it as serious as he should. Even though the managers at the time weren't helping him, but he should have done more. So I think with what he has learned from his past, I think if he goes to Barca, even though he will not hit it running like Suarez did 2015, but if he goes, it will take time. But then if Messi, it's not even if Messi leaves, he will do well.
So do you think Depay is what Barca needs?
It's not what Barca needs, but if the manager wants a player, you give the manager the player, so that if the manager doesn't perform, you have a reason to sack him. If we all know Barca will be having an election next year. So, for instance, if they sign Depay for him, he wants Wijnaldum. They sign Wijnaldum, and then at the end of the season, he goes trophyless, or he wins just Copa del Rey. That's not good enough for Barca. So they will have a reason to sack him. But even with that, I think next summer, by all means, Koeman will leave because Bartomeu will lose the election, and then another if a new president comes.
Why are you saying Bartomeu will lose?
He will lose the election.
Uh-huh.
What
are your reasons?
It's like competing with Messi. Messi can threaten the club and say if Bartomeu, he already said that if Bartomeu stays, he will leave. So next summer,
Bartomeu is there.
No, you see right now, with Messi's interview, he said when he told his family about it, his family cried and stuff. Now, if you look at how Messi or how Barca and Messi were, how they helped the player, what they've done for him, I think he doesn't want to be like ungrateful. That's why he's staying for one more year. But to me, I think if Bartomeu stays next election, then I think Messi will leave because you have every reason to leave. He doesn't want the president, and they keep voting for the president. So if they vote for him, I think Messi will leave.
Okay. So Nana, what do you think about the Barcelona? He's already talked about the Barcelona situation. Don't you have anything to say?
Oh, I'll just touch on Ancelotti and his Everton. That the team that he's building at Everton is a fantastic team that he's building. For now, I think Everton really have everything they need, and Ancelotti is just adding one or two to whatever they have right now. So I think I see Everton going above the top, like
mention Man United. Mention Man United.
I'm not going to compare to any team or something, but I want to say that like from where they ended last season,
They were 15 was old.
Really?
Yeah.
But I think they will go beyond that.
Was it 10?
Yeah, because they signed some interesting.
But they can get into the top 6.
They were not 15.
They were 10.
I'm not sure.
10.
With the top 10, I think they can make it.
But without these signings, they can still make it in the
Yeah.
No, they can still make it, but at least he has strengthened some aspect that he thinks lacks probably strength or something. So he so for now they are cool with whatever they have right now because they have fantastic players already and they are making some additions, so it's okay for them.
Okay, so they were 12 last season.
They were 12.
Yes.
Okay, so this time I'm tipping them to get into the top 10.
This is not a tax.
These signings.
No.
With all these signings and everything should be in the top 10. Then it means even if
The signings were useless.
No.
you see,
If we compare like with the performance of other teams, how they performed last season, if they have to upgrade it this season, definitely they will still be ahead of Everton. Do you get me? So if let's say from how Wolves used to play like 2 seasons ago or last season, if Wolves is supposed to keep up that pace, I think Everton will still be beneath Wolves, and they will still need some kind of, should I put it like creativity or something to catch up with Wolves.
also let's not forget that these are new signings. They are going to need time.
Yeah,
it's only certain instances that when the new signings arrive.
Please, like Bruno Fernandes. Thank you.
Okay.
I agree to that, but you know sometimes the coach also plays a role when he knows that this is the EPL. He knows what to tell the players.
And one more thing, Ancelotti coached Alan at Napoli and coached James
Rodriguez at Real
Madrid. So you know those 2 players.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you see that thing. So
it's
Everton,
easier.
yeah, no matter what you do, they will surprise people this season.
Okay, so with the Premier League team of the season, maybe we will be forcing the list. Can you mention it again?
Okay, so the goalkeeper was Nick Pope. At defense, we had Trent Alexander-Arnold, Virgil van Dijk, Soyuncu, and then Andy Robertson. In midfield, there was Jordan Henderson, Kevin De Bruyne, David Silva. In attack, Aubameyang, Mane, and Vardy.
Okay, so are you cool with the list? Do you think?
For me, for the list, I'm very cool with the list. I don't have any problem with any player being chosen over.
Do you have any problem?
Actually, to me personally, to be honest, Soyuncu is a problem.
Okay.
To me,
And
I think
he should
David
have been
Silva.
replaced.
I think David Silva is there because he's leaving. He's a legend and he's leaving.
Oh, Charlie.
You see, that's
That's
my
why-
main problem. Why should does he really fit into the Premier
No,
League
you see-
team of the season?
With team of the seasons, they they just bring the players. It's because it's not going to be a team on the field. They just try to insert players.
Nah,
I
don't think so.
That's what happens. If you look at
based on the
if you look at
position,
fifth
the
Pro
best-
World 11, how they've been doing it for some time. They've always thrown players into it. I remember last 2 seasons, or was it last year? Last 2 seasons, Hazard was played on the left, in midfield, just to accommodate Messi, Ronaldo, and I think Lewandowski. If they had to just take Hazard out, but because he had a good season, they couldn't take Ronaldo out. They had to put Hazard in midfield. There's also been instances where players have been they just thrown them into it. They'll just bring us sport territory, but they'll put attackers in midfield. It happens. Just that I think David Silva, he played well, just that he was not playing regularly. He was not starting matches. He
Even
was just
his
coming in as
performance
impact.
wasn't, even though it was okay.
Yeah, he was coming in as impact player. So I don't think he should be there. Just that he's leaving, so they want to do something for
So
him.
you also think he should be
But
because
he send off party.
Yeah, send off party.
Oh,
something
nah,
like
but
that.
for me, I think the list be okay.
No, if you look at
but you think he should be there.
Oh yes.
So he did well in that position than any other
Oh
player
yes,
in
he
the
did.
Premier
Well.
League.
To me,
More than Grealish.
yes. To me, he did well.
Okay. Yeah, done.
me, I think Soyuncu being there, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with him being there, but I think someone else. There are players.
Like who?
There are players who should have been there. I think who was I thinking of? Even if Laporte hadn't had his injury, like he should have been there. Even after he had his injury, he was very good. And I think people will not like this, but French deserves a spot in it for what he did at
Who
United.
is French?
French. If you don't know French,
Maguire should
Harry
be there.
Maguire should be there.
Ah,
because
my guy.
because
You
of what
joke
he did
also.
at his club. This is an individual.
What he did at where?
at his club.
Which
Which club?
You don't know where Maguire plays for Cotonou.
What did he do for Man United last
So it's a personal.
The only thing
I
they
think
listen.
that's why I started
The only thing that French they deserve is the jail they go. That be all.
See,
What?
it's a personal thing. When I said David Silva, nobody said that. That's what I'm saying. It's a
So
personal
you
choice.
mean-
I think that's what I'm saying. I think Maguire should have been there.
So you think
Ahead of
Soyuncu
Soyuncu, yeah.
should be removed and then
For
put
Maguire,
there?
for me. That's for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
You guys seen it?
Yes, bomb.
Now,
Yeah, that's all.
okay, so there's this Batshuayi situation. The guy scored a goal in the international break, and then he scored
He
7
scored
goals.
2.
He
Yes.
scored, yeah. Yeah.
But now he scored 7
7
goals
goals
in 5 games.
5 minutes.
But then at Chelsea, they treat him like
Baller.
they don't even give him some 1 minute, 2 minutes time to even playing time. Why?
Sir, at the end of the day, I'll go so if you are not back. If we go training where we see Charlie, me I'll ball in there. You know, say the training where they impress coach say, okay, this time as we go training, you impress.
It depends on every coach. Certain
Depends on the
coaches
coach.
Okay,
put
depends
certain
on-
players based on the match.
Okay, but I should say Lampard. That be how they pick him players. Like
So
Because for
it
some-
be like it be Lampard way Isan way you know they fit use am
how is that?
or the
So it
play-
just be question.
I dey please you question.
Okay.
It
Sure.
be him way is it that Lampard can't use Batshuayi well or because anytime he goes to the national team Belgium he performs.
Mhm.
So why is it that you treat him like there's nothing? If you look at Tammy Abraham, even when Abraham's performance came
Went
down,
up, yeah.
and then
he still refused to
you
use
see,
Batshuayi.
you play Giroud all the time. You should have given him some, at least 1 or 2 chances for him to prove
Oh,
himself.
but I think he gave him some chances to prove himself.
I think
Even in
How
the
many
United
times?
match. In the United match, he
Yeah, he did, he will play, but how many times?
He
But he
scored
doesn't play
after
well.
he scored the goal. That was all.
Talk
I
into
thought.
your mind. Talk
You
into
see,
your
he
mind.
doesn't. If you don't give the player the chance to play consistently,
At a point in
he will
time,
not pick up.
Tammy Abraham was not firing, but still you were giving him the
He
chances.
scored 13 goals in I think October up until December, not goals. Still he was playing. He was
No,
playing.
listen. If he no play Batshuayi, he no be deal. That's why they tell you.
The
say,
problem is,
That's what I
don't you
tell
think
you.
he should be given enough time, at least a little more time?
he has had enough.
Should I?
For me, I think he has had enough.
Let me come in. So to me, I think Batshuayi is a good player. He was at Marseille. He did well. He went to Chelsea. Chelsea was bigger.
You even went to Dortmund and he was
yes,
performing.
he went to Dortmund. He was scoring goals.
Uh-huh.
But you see, with Dortmund, if you come and you're an attacker, even though you might not be world class, but you click.
How?
Paco Alcacer went to Dortmund and
Uh-huh.
then he blew everybody away.
But then,
What I'm
with
trying to
this
say is-
situation, we all know Suarez was at Barcelona.
What I'm trying to say is, Batshuayi deserves the chance, but to say he's firing at Belgium is not really the truth, because Lukaku has been firing at Belgium.
And he has been
You see,
firing at the national
Belgium,
team. Wait.
Belgium, they have creators.
Wait, don't discredit Lukaku.
No, I'm not discrediting Lukaku.
He was fired, even when he came to your team, he was the highest goal
Oh,
scorer.
come on.
Went to the Italian
why
league,
you
scored
don't-
almost
you don't
the
like
same.
him?
Why-
Yeah,
No,
I
I
don't
say
like him.
if you say Batshuayi deserves the chance, because at a point Abraham wasn't doing well. I get it, but I don't think because he scored at
But that
with
Lukaku,
Belgium,
that Lukaku statement retracted.
that's what.
Because currently you don't have a better striker like Lukaku.
Oh, that's not the case right now. We are talking about Batshuayi. Don't bring it as
Okay.
don't bring United.
So don't
issues.
discredit the guy.
The thing is,
It's
if you are
Lukaku United
at
issue.
Belgium, and you're center for it, you score goals. You
Okay.
score goals.
Okay.
You
So why is
score goals.
Benzema
You have
not
De Bruyne
scoring?
behind you. You have Hazard. You have Carrasco. You have.
So you are trying to say Chelsea, they don't have better midfield to feed Batshuayi.
At the time, their midfield isn't as creative as.
Oh my guy.
Ah,
What are you talking about?
who creates in your midfield? I'm talking about midfielders,
So,
not wingers.
In short, Chelsea
Relax.
have baller
But
midfield.
Barkley, if you compare Barkley in role to De Bruyne,
We see chances where
Talk to your
Batshuayi
mind.
see where he missed them. We
Oh,
don't see-
that
No,
one,
it's not bad.
Ronaldo, even
See,
Aubameyang,
no,
yes,
yes,
only
people
chance.
Listen, if you want to
People
impress your
miss
coach,
sitters.
as he fit you for that match inside, Master, you for do something.
No, it's
Because
only one
no,
match.
listen, you know be starter. What be only one match?
With what you are saying,
Even what you are
I've
saying,
seen
man.
What
Ronaldo
only
miss.
one match?
Ronaldo
I've
miss,
seen Ronaldo miss
but
an
he will
empty
play.
goal.
They'll make him play because
No, empty post them they miss. And they tell you they say, what are they tell you they say?
But you know
If
the chances
no be
Lukaku
starter,
misses.
if you know be starter,
Eh.
when the coach put you for the pit stop,
Eh.
you for impress. That's what I tell you. Like it not be a matter
Some
of
know they
use,
impress, but then always they are being brought on.
yes.
because the coach gets in like in favorites. Every coach get in favorites.
So your own is Batshuayi that isn't Lampard's favorite. So it means he has
For
to.
me, I
move.
can see that.
He should move because I'm hearing Crystal Palace wants him on loan.
Yeah, he has already had his medicals.
Yeah, so he should just go to Crystal Palace. At least that place, Benteke they were born. So if you go, you can bench Benteke and then you play. If he does well, who knows? He might come and bench Wenger.
So even the situation I was talking about, look at Raheem Sterling, the chances he missed.
But he
This
plays
guy-
every single game.
This guy almost misses chances more than he scores, but he plays.
You see-
Batshuayi went to Marseille, he was firing. Went to Dortmund, he was firing. Belgium, he's firing. But when he comes to Chelsea, he's not being given
Why
enough
did you
time.
mention Crystal Palace?
I think the problem is
Has he been there just a season?
it was
Yes.
there season. It was half a season. Was it?
It's not even full season.
Was
When the full season
Uh-huh.
uh
And then they give him enough playing time.
and then
So someone can argue that
mhm.
like almost 80% of the clubs that he's been to, he's been firing. But when he comes to Chelsea, no, not even a game
Doesn't
back.
This same Batshuayi went to Valencia.
What happened?
Misfiring.
see.
You want to produce
So
go and check the
that
stats.
means they didn't give him enough time.
He had the time. He had the chance, like the time to play for Valencia.
Look at, let me tell you, your Chelsea strikers. It's not that you're having someone like Lewandowski or Luis Suarez to
Exactly.
bench
You
him.
don't have an elite
You
striker.
see,
You have
they are just average like him. Nah.
they were average. No.
Oh yeah.
No.
Giroud is an average striker.
Allow me to express.
Giroud at what he does is not average.
So
Allow
he's
him to
what
express
class?
himself.
No, at what he does.
So
he's
what
one of
is
the best in the
Giroud?
world.
Okay, what is Giroud?
Target
What
man
class?
as a target.
It's-
No,
it's-
at what
no,
he does.
it's-
As
it's-
an overall player, he's average.
Is
But at what
Giroud
he
now
does,
average
one
at
of the
Chelsea
best.
or he was still
Wait,
average at
one
Arsenal?
after
Let
the
me
other.
hear you.
One after the other.
I'm asking you that.
You will end your submission.
I said Giroud is. If you tell me Giroud is an average striker, I will understand. But at what he does, he's one of the best.
As a striker, what is he supposed to do?
He's a target man. You can see why.
What is
in
a target
France-
man? What is the work of a
Should I
striker?
come in? No, don't tell me the work of a striker is to score goals. Because he won a World Cup without scoring goals. So that one is different. And he
It's a
kept
teamwork.
playing
Wait, well, you said he won a World Cup.
without
Only
scoring.
him. It's a teamwork.
So that's the same way.
He even gave them
football is
one
a
assist.
teamwork.
That doesn't mean
Football is teamwork.
he's not average. This even should tell you, wait.
Football is teamwork.
Are you done?
Football is teamwork.
So he's not average.
He's not average.
He's what?
He's more than average. A little above average.
What?
I want to ask you this:
uh-huh.
Is Giroud average at
He's
Chelsea
been-
or he's been
He's
average
good.
since
Average is like-
when he was at Arsenal.
Oh, come on.
Giroud, don't underrate the word average. Giroud is an average striker.
Since Arsenal.
He's not a world class.
No, relax.
No, he's not world
Since
class.
the-
But
He's
he's
been
Arsenal.
average since Arsenal time.
So wait.
Okay.
Wait.
There was 7 games to spare.
Okay.
Olivier Ozil had 19 assists or
This
something.
thing they always talk, then 7 games to go. He missed
7 games to
chance.
go.
Yeah, I remember
Just
that.
give Ozil 2 goals,
2 goals.
and then Ozil will break the
Yeah.
the EPL record for most assists in a season. 7 games, the guy squandered.
But you can't use that as
That's what they take one bash the nigga out.
I'm not bashing him. He's not a bad player, but he's not a world class
He's
player.
not world class.
That's exactly my point.
He's not
He
world
might
class. He is doing what Batshuayi can do. So
What is he doing?
Giroud dey hit pass play.
He dey hit what?
He dey poach like everything. Sam Giroud dey do.
So how many goals did he score last season?
How many games
I-
did he start?
You are settling for Giroud because you don't have any other alternative.
It's true. That one is
But if you don't have alternative and
Yeah.
that Giroud is producing now, what's the expect?
Wait, what was he producing? Wait.
He was scoring the
When
FA
he
Cup
started,
semi-final.
when he started the season, who was starting?
Tammy Brown.
Why was he starting?
No,
That's why I tell you, see.
No,
That's
I
why I
said
tell you,
race
see.
man. Race man.
It's because he was performing and no better player was there. When he stopped firing, they brought in Giroud because there was no option.
Yeah, there's no option.
So this should tell you that you don't have the enough resources. That's why you are playing.
That's why we are bad.
When we had
That's why
Aubameyang,
we
they
are
didn't
bad.
check him. You see, when he was
Why you saying a thing like that?
What did you say?
when we had the option, when we had no option, we played him like that, and then he was.
We also had no option. We played him.
So
it doesn't mean he's a world class.
Abraham, we had no option. And we played him. We had no
He said he
option.
had no option on Abraham.
Please.
I be this side player,
Yes.
this side striker.
We no sign player.
Talking to your mic.
We no sign player. Where we go carry on our own Abraham come. Say, oh, Charlie.
Your way, bro.
I think I know the one that they like.
Father
You do
Abraham has made his son.
Charlie.
Okay, so talking about Jude, let's not underrate some of his good works.
Yeah, he's
He scored a goal in the international game against. Whom did they play?
They played
Croatia.
France played Croatia.
Okay.
It was a penalty. Thank you for.
Why? You know, penalty no be.
No, no be Chelsea fans now and say.
If you miss am, like you talk say, you get am.
I like you miss some like agenda.
Meanwhile, nigga dey start ahead of
One
Martial.
after the other.
How you start
One
ahead of-
after the other. Wait.
What be my previous match before they play Croatia?
Wait.
Our Croatia.
I dey
was
miss you.
Bros. Wait.
Ah,
Wait.
You make this guy get me.
Wait.
You get you, sir.
You got no agenda.
Wait.
nigga dey start ahead of Martial.
Relax.
How am I make I talk short?
Tell me you go.
Okay, so let me finish what I'm about to say. Then I'll give you
Okay.
some time to talk about your agenda. Jude scored with his penalty against Croatia. They won 4-2. France won 4-2. So this is his 40th goal in the French national team. Only Michel Platini and then Thierry Henry has scored more. Charlie, let's give him like he's really done well. And then it's because he's the favorite of the coach.
Exactly.
Whether he performs or not, no matter which striker fans are having,
No benchy.
they are going to bench him and then play Giroud. So, coming on what you were saying that he plays ahead of Martial, this is a matter of choice. We all know better strikers are there for France to call, and then still because of maybe the style of play of Deschamps.
Nah, I wan make Abash in back.
Let me laugh.
Sake of what if they talk say
Make it land.
Giroud score from penalty.
Make
Like
it
penalty no be goal.
You know people now say Bruno they score penalty.
So with that one, you can't really. That's my point of view. You can't really argue that he benches Martial.
He did. He just did.
But against Croatia we started.
And
If you be striker
before Croatia match, who start the match?
Harry Kane, he started the 2 matches continuous because he be sure starter. If you be sure starter, like he will start the 2 matches continuous. So why say Martial start?
With that one,
So
with
you
that
know
one.
sure starter give France.
Oh, you know be sure starter. As
If
at now,
you put Giroud and Martial
as at now,
for them.
you Euros you go see.
Yeah.
You know something. When it comes to this group, like preliminary group stages games, they do try a lot of players. So you can't base on that to say.
So he should also say.
you and I know that
He should also say.
Giroud is a starter.
Giroud is a starter.
Yes.
But next year Euros, I say Martial will start. Me I dey tell you.
Okay.
I say this season Martial go Kiro. I dey come out, sorry.
Goalkeeper where?
Sorry.
For where?
I dey beg.
Nah, for where?
I don't say that you talk.
No, we want know France national team or.
No, but listen. With France, see, it's how they play. So the coach wants to. It's just how they play. They could have played Lacazette, Ben Yedder. He read sometime. Now they score goals up and down. They still bench him. So it just be how the coach they play.
Oh yeah, that one they are the asset.
So okay. So point that. You don't have a problem with this. You don't have a problem with this penalty. You were having a problem.
See the penalty. I don't know why Chelsea fans they talk say Bruno they score penalty. No, see, if penalty be easier, can Messi get 2 Copa Americas? You see, like he win international.
That's true.
Penalty no be easy. Hey, if penalty be easier, can Chelsea get 2 Champions Leagues? You can't on tell it. You go
You go fall down.
Charlie, penalty
It rain with legacy.
I know the one
only Ibe.
Why only Ibe play the penalty? So I know can I all by the rain the
research they show say not installed in one
boss that one.
So that one they ask to slip.
Make I tell you something. I know the one talk so say you look like I dey bash Frank Lampard. He's a good player, but if you look at his records, he score plenty penalties for himself. See, penalty scoring, it no be easy. If somebody dey score, it no be high.
So if it no be easy, why they talk say score?
So why they talk say Bruno?
No, they talk the penalty like
only talk the penalty
one after the
other. They talk the penalty like
wait.
penalty no be sound.
Who is talking?
Fine. We all dey talk.
One after
let him finish.
Now what I want make you put am be say like what make no Sean dey talk say score penalty. Still like score goal.
No,
you know they count.
But listen. Against Copenhagen, after the match, you ask Chelsea fans for Twitter, penalty. Like say penalty, you know be really create the penalty. See, penalty no be easy. You know say the penalty. If you know be say Giroud record then like somebody else go play. You know, if you say they would like say Giroud go play.
Make we help him. Make you reach the record.
Make you help him.
Hey, okay, so
the first match is four.
You wanted to talk about a press conference.
Yeah. So Klopp had this press conference where he was talking about the Chelsea signings. And so we'll be playing that to our listeners.
We don't have much time, so I think you just see it. Then in our next show, then we are going to play.
So let me read some of the things he said. He said he was talking about Chelsea. He said we are the club we are. He's talking about Liverpool here. We can't change overnight and say we want to behave like Chelsea. They've signed a lot of players. That can be an advantage, but that means they have to fit together pretty quickly as well. It's not only about bringing quality in. You can't bring in 11 best players in the world and just hope a week later they play the best football they will ever play. It's about working together on the training ground. That will probably be an advantage for us. So he's trying to kind of criticize Lampard and then Chelsea. But to me, I think Klopp is a hypocrite. Hey, when we signed Pogba, this man can't talk say why did they use all this money on one player? When we signed Pogba, let me quote what he said. He said when Man United signed Pogba for 89, he said other clubs can go out and spend more money and collect top players, yes. But if you bring one player in for 100 million or whatever and he gets injured, then it all goes through the chimney. If you don't know chimney, that thing then they bend. Yes, that's the one that smoke the power. Thank you. So Klopp be hypocrite. When we buy Pogba for 89, he talk that thing. Later on, he went to sign Van Dijk for 75. 75, he no be close to 100. If he leg breaker, he no be the same thing.
Is it the same?
No, be the same, but be close to. If you dey talk about someone spending 100 million, 75 and then 100, 75 pounds, or was it pounds here? Compared to 100, it be 75 and then 89. It's close, very close.
So as they talk Klopp the hypocrites, 2009 June. They can tell you something.
Klopp
talk say Liverpool is an ambitious club, and if we didn't spend the same amount of money as others, we wouldn't be able to compete. Everybody is splashing the cash. We also have to do the same. So why is that now somebody is splashing you want to talk about?
So this is the reason why he's saying he's hypocrite.
Yes, so like I don't want to say.
He said thank you for your exercise. He signed Van Dijk 75. He signed Fabio 40 plus. He signed Naby Keita more than 60.
Almost
60.
Yeah.
Look at that. If you take those Klopp, God go.
We were out there family.
He signed technically. Obi signed. Every year said Chelsea signed, but Klopp the ball.
We are just saying that Timo way they miss am no. That what you.
Yeah.
At times almost up. So what about Lampard's phone?
Oh, but Lampard's phone. Yeah, Lampard was saying that he said to quote him verbatim, he said, "I didn't come here to fight for top 4 place." I said, I didn't come here just to bring academy players into the team. No, I came here to win.
And Gary Neville has also said something.
Hey,
he said that he's disappointed because the players that he wanted United to get is what Chelsea are buying now.
Who?
Which players?
Gary Neville.
Which players?
Okay.
He just mentioned that the players that he wants
He can't even
He that can coach Valencia.
allow the man to express himself. It doesn't necessarily mean that
see your players.
But then his opinion
is
like,
different.
don't
It's
give
his
his opinion to all.
No.
Lampard is saying something about himself. We are talking about Lampard. He's saying he didn't come for top.
Like he's inviting war.
Exactly, he's inviting
Remember
pressure.
he told in our previous shows he told Timo Werner that they are going to fight for the title.
Thank you.
Next season.
Thank you. So if Chelsea top second,
everybody's
wait,
playing
no,
the league because of the
So
title.
quick one. I think
Everybody's playing because of the title.
Okay, let's enter into the Premier League fixtures again. We want to know like Fulham and Arsenal. Where do you take your predictions?
Fulham the Arsenal, I think it's a crucial for Arsenal. Although Fulham to be some kind of top team, but Arsenal will just go.
Palace Southampton.
Palace Southampton.
Yes.
Charlie,
Palace.
Ralph Hasenhuttl. Charlie, watch out for that man. Southampton falla.
Southampton go win.
Falla.
Away at Palace.
Oh, me and they tell you.
Okay, Liverpool leads.
Liverpool is the done deal for Liverpool.
Okay. West Ham Newcastle.
West Ham Newcastle.
West Ham home.
Hey, Charlie, no.
It can go for.
See, I see that match to be a Newcastle win.
For me, I see West Ham win.
Under David Moyes.
Moyes has done what?
That man, the world will punish him. Be like Mourinho, he can't score my club.
Hey, so you are a push.
Hey, make you don't talk about that. End of discussion.
Only non spoil.
Hey, end of discussion.
Okay, so I think
on Sunday there's West Brom and then Leicester.
Okay.
What do you think?
West Brom Leicester.
Leicester feels so too.
It be the Tottenham Everton match, no?
West Brom be some kind of tough team if.
See, West Brom now they play that long ball thing, oh. Slaven Village they there, so they know they play that long ball. Then Chris Brandt they run it, they do.
Yeah.
I did, and they take the ball, put down.
Yeah.
So
like at least they go worry them
yeah,
small. But Leicester, if you won't carry experience, they just.
But see, Everton Tottenham, I say Everton will last Tottenham. Me and they tell you. Hey, Ancelotti, Charlie. I say Ancelotti no go top 10 full. See, he dey go if he no qualify.
Was he the same Ancelotti at Napoli?
Oh yeah.
As in,
The
is he the same person? Of course, and
You knew him at Napoli.
Oh, you knew Ancelotti at Real Madrid. You knew him at
What did you
AC
do?
Milan.
What did you do at Real Madrid?
Oh, you won Champions League
Uh-huh.
at AC Milan. What Champions
The
League?
next league. Oh, don't be talking about history. We were talking about.
But he's still
Mourinho
the same player.
Wait.
He's still the same manager.
But Mourinho has changed.
See, Ancelotti.
Wait.
See,
He's the same coach, but Mourinho has changed.
see Mourinho is changing. It be drastic.
Talking to
Shan
them.
change, right? He shan.
So-
Ancelotti never shan.
No, so he go by and he perform.
You go Bayern perform. You know me Champions League by perform. Perform.
Hey,
No matter Bayern what? See Bayern, you know be everybody will go there. Will go. Pep go there.
Stop
Win
talking
Champions
to your
League.
mind.
Pep go there. Win Champions League.
but what was Pep doing?
Pep go there. No win Champions. You know reach semi-finals.
But then he won the league.
Ancelotti won the league.
Did you watch his last season?
Oh, but it doesn't matter. He still
What
won
doesn't
the league.
matter? He
still
went
won
to
the league.
Napoli.
So are you trying to say
Wait.
Ancelotti is not good?
Currently,
Now, why?
bro, his works are doing the thing. Ever since he was sacked at Real Madrid,
So just like Mourinho had the sack
he went to Napoli. This guy, Sarri had built a team who I think they were second on the log. Look, he went there and brought them back to the Europa League.
Where they deserve.
He went to the Bayern Premier League. The Bayern Bundesliga. He went there and he was struggling.
He wasn't
Something that even right now, what's the name of their coach?
Hans Flick.
Hansi Flick. Look at that guy.
See, Ancelotti
He's
never
even
shine.
performing with
He
the
never
team.
shine. See, if you talk say in tactics, no Shedabi, but
All in tactics die, like just like Mourinho.
wow,
That's
so
the point.
and Mourinno look at Ancelotti mate. I say he go last sham this weekend.
Mourinho be winning.
Okay, I think we will see.
Mourinho already sham.
Where Ancelotti no shine.
Ancelotti never sham. He never sham.
You also think the same.
Oh no. For me, I think
Both of them sham.
Let him talk.
Both of them like them are tactics make I talk say be kind of outmoded, but
You never-
But Ancelotti know they use like one tactic.
oh, let's
When you know the work give
Them
am,
all they use one tactic.
It just be
it just be what?
he be say he come Everton how many?
It's not about Everton.
He came. Relax.
He went to Napoli.
Napoli.
He went to
listen,
Bayern.
Listen.
He flopped
Napoli's
there.
way of playing, not Sarri build a team. So they be say the coach for continue what Sarri they do. But then you won't do different thing. That one be different too. You go meet a team. Then no one listen. You go meet a team. Then no one make you build your own team. They won't make you continue what.
How many years did he spend at Napoli?
I think 2 or 3 years.
And
3
so
years.
Yes.
And he did
Ancelotti
nothing
was
there.
2 years.
Almost 3 years.
2.5 years. They sacked him in his 3rd year. So be like them Moreno
For
get
a
that
top
test.
coach like you.
No, listen. No. Sacking
Let me learn.
everybody, then they sack everybody. Sacking.
But sometimes there are some clubs, if they sack you, it's a disgrace.
for Napoli.
Yes.
It's not a disgrace. It's not a disgrace.
Napoli has just won one. Napoli doesn't have pedigree.
See, he going to Napoli in the first place was lower. It's low for his pedigree.
Moreno coming to Tottenham is not.
It's very low. That's because he's shan.
You see, right now, the reason is that they can't get top teams to coach.
As in Ancelotti.
And Mourinho.
True.
Everyone wants these energetic
Yes.
managers who can do something at least.
This about make we sack only later on and we go take that Leipzig coach. What be name? Julian Nagelsmann.
Nagelsmann.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
You are good.
So this is all time to the
Oh,
meters.
make a give my shout out.
All too soon, the program has come to an end. Why you want shout out?
I won't give somebody shout out.
Make no worry, we'll come your turn. So we promise our listeners that we are coming to give them
Give me my shout out.
bets so that they can stake. So
bets.
it's on the screen. You can watch it and then you just go and stake. This weekend we are giving you something very special. This is 90%. So you can try your hands on them and then it can blow. So this is Cloud9 Sports Show on Fake That Radio. I'm your host as usual, Francis Asna, and today on the program was Derek Sokojo and then Nana Ike.
Boy, no.
AKA
Boy, no.
Otumba, AKA the boy no. Okay, so without wasting much time, Charlie, we are closing. Any shout outs?
Charlie, I get shout outs. I want to give shout outs to my boys. Man United Arena 09. Charlie, you dey listen? Hey. Charlie, shout outs to Davirechi. Shout outs to Kinlekade. Shout out to CJ. Shout out to Josh. Shout out to Giovanni. Shout out to Lua. And then shout out to Solomones. Charlie, thanks for listening, bro.
Yeah. We can also give my shout out. Charlie, shout out to the whole GH girls. Charlie, we get some fantastic girls for GH. Like apart from gold, bauxite, diamond. Charlie, what I see from the rooftop today. You next week I will talk about them. Hey! But toss.
Hey! Otumba, you blast.
This is
The boy, no.
boy, no. But we can know I'm a rule. We make our separate.
So in case you didn't enjoy the show today, give us another chance on my Tuesday at exactly 1 p.m. Until then, Nana, no jangle bar. Until then, we are out.
They are coming.